You're listening to B2B Tech Talk with Ingrammicro, where we share topics that will inspire business growth and help you stay ahead of advances in technology before they become mainstream. This episode is sponsored by Ingrammicro Xvantage, the game-changing platform that will transform your business potential and reshape how customers see you. On today's episode of B2B Tech Talk, I'm joined by Andreas Storz, Research Manager and Lead for research giant IDC, supporting their EMEA Partnering Ecosystems program. Based in the U.S., Andreas focuses on the evolution of go-to-market models, new digital value chains, and the wider impact on partner ecosystems, exploring how current and future trends will impact the vendor, distributor, and partner landscape. So let's dig in. Andreas, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Yes, absolutely. So we're here at the Global Cloud and Innovation Summit in Las Vegas, and there was a lot of energy this morning, Andreas. From your perspective, what was the experience like to hear about all the things that Ingrammicro's doing?
Yeah, I think it was a great session this morning. A lot of good announcements, especially around the Xvantage platform. A lot of it has been in the works. We had some briefings over the last few months and seen all the progress, and we see it now all come together. So this certainly came across in the sessions and everything that Ingram is doing as a company and with all the partners here. So a lot of excitement definitely in the room.
Sanjeev Sahu talked about uh, mindset and the spirit of innovation. What are your thoughts around that?
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of curious because he is the technical leader. He doesn't talk about technology that much. There is technology behind it, but I guess that's the whole point. We're not doing technology for technology's sake, right? It is enabling end customers to do more leveraging technology, but ultimately you want to transform your business. So this is what partners will hopefully take away from the event here.
Absolutely. So you represent EMEA, correct?
That's right.
Uh, so I want to talk a little bit about AI because AI is the big, I feel like when you talk about AI, it's like a devil, an angel, right? It can go either way depending on who you're talking to. I'm excited about the technology for so many reasons. Are you seeing the excitement? Europeans tend to be a lot more conservative to me, in my estimation, about technology. How do you see it?
I they are excited certainly about it, but they're also maybe a little more cautious, a little bit more aware around the potential risks, which is also I think the whole discussion around data privacy, ethics in AI, and so a lot of it is driven out of EMEA in Europe. So it's about the responsible use of AI, but ultimately it is a tool that enables automation of some sort and a lot of innovation, and people don't want to miss out on innovation.
Well, I remember when the internet was introduced, and it was the same kind of feeling. Is this going to be used for the greater good, or is this scary? How should we embrace it? And look where we are today. Recently, I had to have an X-ray, and on the report it said that it was read and analyzed by a computer. I was actually amazed. I had not seen that before, and my my first reaction was a little nervous. But then, as I thought about it, what if the radiologist was having a bad day?
Right.
Right? The computer doesn't have bad days. And so that's really, really exciting. So I've heard you talk about data as being a key differentiator.
Uh-huh.
What kind of data should partners be looking to get from distributors that they work with, like Ingrammicro?
Well, and this is everything to do with where Ingram is headed and all the investments that have been made, right? So it is about an entire effort to digitize the entire everything that is what distribution does for partners and ultimately for end customers. It's the digital transformation of distribution, and so we're shifting into a truly customer-centric world, and we're having a big shift here towards recurring revenues being dominant as a business model, right? And so in this world, data is critical for partners. Partners need to um, really, and that brings us back to the culture and the mindset, really understand how to be profitable and operate in this new recurring revenue services dominated world, right? So you need to have data on your customers, and you need to have the intelligence that comes from Ingram Micro is one of the few companies of the world, a large distributor that has data, not just one single vendor has maybe data on, knows a lot about their own portfolio. Ingram Micro knows about multi-vendors, everything across all their partners that they're working together, and that holds so much value that you can put in front of partners and really help them make the right decisions. What do customers want? Customers want outcomes, and customers want to have a trusted advisor on their side, right, that can help them throughout the entire journey. So in this world, we're shifting to solution lifecycle management. It's not just about the transaction. Transaction is there, but then after that, it's about adopting, expanding, renewing, helping customers really find the value from their investments. So that's where data comes in and really enables partners to give the right advice. And also it's good for their own business, right? Because we know that when customers are more invested around a certain technology or a platform, the more components or solutions they use, the less likely it is that they will churn. So that is the gateway to partner profitability.
So Paul Bay this morning talked about Ingram Micro moving from transaction to interaction. Is that what you're talking about? Engaging more on the value and the outcome versus the transaction?
That's exactly what it is. Transactions still happen, but they're in the background. It's about the continuous engagement, the interaction with the customer. You need to be close to your customer. You need to, first of all, find out which customer base, where can you add the most value, where can you play best, and then help them throughout their entire life cycle. Hopefully they won't ever leave you as a partner, right? And you can advise them and steer them in the direction and find the right solutions that help them move forward.
So loyalty now, I mean, it used to be percentage points that moved you from one distributor to another. But now, and with any business, it's more about the experience that you provide. If you make it easy to rent a house in Europe somewhere and you can go and get the key and stay at a stranger's house, hey, I'll do it, right? So I think customers are becoming, or our partners are becoming more and more loyal because of the overall experience that we're given. But I want to talk about data a little bit because I feel that data on the surface, I think data is currency as well. You have to be able to tell the right story with the data to the right audience. You almost have to personalize that data story. How do you feel about that? I know that you come from a very analytical background and you understand a lot about data, but I actually heard a great TED Talk on how to tell a story with data. So share with me a little bit of your insights about how you interpret data.
Well, definitely. Data holds a lot of potential value, but you need to make it actionable. So you actually need to turn it into insights. And if we're talking partners, we need to give them tools and recommendations, right? And playbooks. Make it actionable. There's the vast amounts of data out there and no one can consume them. The idea isn't to have every partner be primarily data analysts. They should be able to go in and find the right data and the insight that they need and just turn it into action.
You now live in the United States in the DC area, but you used to live in Europe. What is you serve Europe. What is the difference between how the partners are behaving here in the US compared to Europe?
Yeah, there are a few differences, a few nuances. I think probably in a way, North American partners are maybe a bit more traditional in their sales approach. They might be a little more, there's certainly traditional business models that they have tended to follow, and those are evolving, right? But Europe has been a breeding ground for a lot of innovation in the partner base, and you have a lot more fragmentation. You have different cultures, different languages, right? And it's much smaller markets. So we see a lot more diversity in business models. We see a lot of specialization. We see a lot of new partners come in. And so that's maybe one difference. There's also, I think, a difference in the North American sales approach might be a little more direct. In Europe, it's even more important, right, that you build those relationships. A lot of word of mouth, a lot of hand holding. It's maybe a slightly softer approach, but in the end, I think partners, both sides of the Atlantic, need to, as we were talking about spirit and culture, right, need to adopt a new culture around really being customer centric, really changing how they operate their entire organizations, to focus on customer needs and to really build a culture and a business model that can thrive in this as a service, a digital world.
Well, along those lines, it's kind of exciting that next year this event Ingram is going to have one large global event, and it's going to be in your backyard in DC. Do you think it's really great to bring all of these cultures and partners together under one roof?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. It'll be huge. And DC is a great place. DC is very diverse. It'll be even more diverse with all the partners coming in, and it's a great place to host for sure. So definitely looking forward to it.
That's fantastic. Andreas, you have been delightful. Thank you so much for joining us on B2B Tech Talk, and I look forward to seeing you around the event.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you. You've been listening to Ingramicro's B2B Tech Talk. Thanks for tuning in. If you like this episode and you want to continue the conversation online, use hashtag B2B Tech Talk.